note these are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you.
I've done what felt right. It just feels like
the world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at, see that chap over there? He'll take your hand off my penis!
The Deputy Secretary, the Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary.
This guy is fucking stupid!
stay cheesy. All right, what's going on, my beautiful rays of sunshine? Today is the 10th of October. Aw, today used to actually mean something to me. So I'm gonna start out with the obvious stuff. All right, what I usually try to do is get a little bit of kind of like a prologue, or just a basic index of what we're going to be talking about. So, of course, the title is The Israeli Connection, and we're going to be discussing what is so special about Israel that we have to pretend to give a shit. And the truth is, scarier than the narrative. It always is. So get ready. Here we go. Let me start this off with an easy disclaimer, okay? Nobody is anti-Semitic here, all right? I don't have any actual Jewish friends, but that's simply because that's just a matter of coincidence. I don't have any fucking real friends, so it doesn't really matter. So this is not anti-Semitic. And I think what the saddest part is that any time you try to bring up the problems with Israel, you are instantly considered anti-Semitic. Now, I discussed this a little bit further in detail on Reddit. And a lot of times before I do these kind of headlines, I started with Reddit and see how it feeds off, see how people respond to it, because I don't want to encourage the wrong type of people or discourage my own ilk. So, it's funny how if you do this and you talk about being against the policies of another fucking country and another state and another fucking, entity, you somehow bring up the Holocaust and American Jews. All right. Now, that is a bullshit equivalency right there. It's just bullshit. And there's so many flavors of bullshit that the Israeli bullshit is kind of special now. So as we have seen in the news and heard in the news, the Israelis and the Hamas I think Trump called it hummus. You're a fucking moron. You don't dip fucking pita chips into a goddamn person. Well, maybe he does. I don't fucking know. He's a weird motherfucker. So let's go ahead and start off with what we're talking about. All right, let's just keep going with the Israel thing, then we'll move on from there. Because I also want to talk about politicians and podcasts. You know, 80 different politicians have podcasts now. I mean, that's for us. This is our job. This is for alternative media. The last thing we need is more fucking sharks in our fucking pool, okay? We are not sharks. We're more like, I don't fucking know, a fish that's just really cool. We're more like stingrays or something. I don't know. But it's like, you know, mind our own damn business. You piss us off and then we come at you. So let's start off with, why do I have a problem with Israel? Well, I really don't. Well, I kind of do. First of all, we all know we don't all know, but the exploits of Netanyahu are enough to make Epstein look like a fucking Christian. So let's talk about the U.S.S. Liberty, which is what really got me in this situation. Once I heard about all this stuff and going on, one of my biggest fears was immediately that we're going to have to be involved in this. We are going to have to be involved in this Israeli conflict. Why? I don't know. It's just the way things have always been. So let's fucking get started, all right? Now, let me get my notes because this is going to be a lot of shit. All right, so we're going to start off with the Nationality Act, all right? So the Nationality Act was the first thing, I believe. Now, the Nationality Act started in the Nationality Act of 1940, okay? The U.S. began supporting Israel with Harry Truman as the first world leader to even recognize Israel, which was in 1948, all right? Now, while the Cold War was in effect with the U.S. and the Soviet Union, so after World War II, Europe had lost its stronghold over the Middle East. Now, Truman used his former business partner, Edward Jacobson, to lay the groundwork to hash out this new deal with the Middle Eastern countries. So basically, this was their way of already setting up, how do we steal all of these resources like oil and other shit. So at this point in time, things still kind of made sense because of the 1940 Nationality Act. Now, in 1967, Israel had defeated, now let me go ahead and put those little quotes, defeated Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, which was not a difficult thing to do. These were not advanced technological fucking warriors we're talking about here. It's just another bigger country picking on a little. Now, even though Egypt is very large, that doesn't mean shit. You know, just because Texas is really large doesn't mean Texas has the most population. Yeah, that's not true. So 1967 is the same year that all of this happens to the U.S.S. Liberty. And so if we want to go even further back than that, you need only to look at the Schofield Bible. Now, the Schofield Bible was made in 1947, I believe. Well, no, 1947. Schofield dies. But while he was alive, he had put in all these little footnotes into the Bible. And so this became not even footnotes, but became the Bible in itself. And so this little footnote turned into the entire scripture. Now, I believe I've talked about this before. So that was in 1909 that he started doing that shit. Now, 1952, the citizenship laws were officially changed, and the new fucking dual citizenship worked for Israelis' favor and created the Israeli citizenship law. Now, 1968, I'm sorry, 1967, on the 8th of June, this bullshit happens. Remember, this is the same year that they had supposedly defeated Egypt, Syria, all this bullshit. And now what we're going to see are real fucking victims of a completely unprovoked attack on us by Israel. Ugh.
My first child was born when I was one day out on that cruise. So as long as they're survivors and maybe children of survivors, I think this will probably be an annual event.
And salute.
Look how sad that is, that this is the size of
The names of the
the amount of
34
people.
killed are read out.
Jack Raper.
Punctuated by the tolling of a Navy bell.
You have to remember, over 30 people were killed, over
And the playing of
170
taps,
injured.
the traditional military funeral lament.
They played taps. It's so sad to see how few people care. And do you
It's
see
important
anybody supporting
not forget what
Netanyahu
happened
here?
and to continue to try to find out why it happened and who made it happen.
Who made it happen, right?
In the summer of 1967, America was in turmoil. An incendiary mixture of racial discrimination and extreme poverty exploded into a summer of rioting in cities across the country.
Wow, when have we seen that before?
But one issue dominated. The Vietnam War. In all, 10,000 troops would die that year. The Americans were trapped. They couldn't leave, and they couldn't win. In the Middle East, too, war looked inevitable. There was growing tension between Israel and its Arab neighbors. Armies were mobilizing. Israel promised the White House they would not attack first.
Okay, I just want you to keep in mind. Oh shit! You know what? Let's just keep going.
But on the 5th of June, they jammed radar sets at the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv.
So Tel Aviv is the communication. It's basically like NBC. So when you hear Tel Aviv, just think like, you know, a major TV conglomerate. Now, what I want to say was, let's keep in mind that this is the very same men that Donald Trump shits on and calls them losers, and there's nothing in it for them.
So the Americans couldn't detect their jets taking off to launch a surprise assault on Egypt. Meanwhile, the U.S.S. Liberty was sailing across the Mediterranean into the war zone.
As you can see, there is no weaponry.
Intelligence gathering vessel of the time, and what we did is we were a listening ship. My name is Lloyd Painter. I was a research officer. We could receive any signal that was out there, low band, high band, any.
So as you can see, there is no sense there are no weapons. It's an intelligence ship. It's meant to gain intelligence through antennas, and they were basically listening in on the Soviets.
We're spies. I'm Jim Kavanaugh. I was a communication technician aboard the U.S.S. Liberty, and I intercepted Morse code. We're spies. I mean, we're intercepting messages from embassies, military bases, police, anything and everything that we could get to ensure that the United States was comfortable with what was going on in the world and no one's conspiring against us. And basically, it was to protect our interests.
The war had just 2 days left to run. Israel had seized the old city of Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. Jordanian forces were beaten, and Egypt was conceding defeat. Only Syria held out.
The airwaves were dead. The only voices we did get were those of Israeli or
Hebrew.
Hebrew was what we were hearing. My name is Bob Wilson. I worked for NSA on June the 8th, 1967, when what we were trying to monitor, find something coming from the direction of Egypt. There just was nothing. They own the skies and the ground and everything.
So again, you're picturing I hope you are all picturing, exactly what this ship looked like and what it really was. It was guys literally suntanning in the ship itself. The reason why is because this is not a fucking ship that's carrying weaponry and is meant to be shooting anything. They're just gathering intelligence. So these men are literally just laying out in the sun because, there's an American flag on this ship that can be seen for miles. So there's no way you can misrepresent this ship. All right, let's continue.
We had lunch, and 5 minutes later, maybe, here came the jets, and nobody really knew what was happening until they started firing at us.
The captain said to me, alert the forward gun mounts, we're under attack. And I tried to raise the two sailors in the forward gun mounts. I looked out, and they were blown to pieces by the rocket.
When the attack started, and we realized that we needed help, we tried to communicate with the Sixth Fleet.
They were jamming both our distress frequencies and our tactical frequencies. The tactical frequencies is all right, but the international distress frequencies is a violation of international law to jam them, and the Israelis were jamming them.
And we could not get a signal across.
Once again, more special.
Here's the question I have to ask.
Bullshit from Israel.
Who would know the frequencies other than an ally?
The allies.
And who was the ally in the war? It wasn't Egypt. It was Israel. They would know, and only they would know in this conflict what our frequencies would be.
Okay, so this caused death, this caused destruction, this caused chaos. This caused over 170 people men to be completely injured, as well as I think 33 deaths. Now, the sickest part of that is the fact that when those ships came up, when those planes came up, and like he said, they were just sunbathing. They look up, there's some plane, they're Israeli, so that's our ally, that's our friend. We felt safe. The man even says, I felt safe when I saw them. That's our friend, that's our ally. And they murdered the shit out of us. And we did nothing. We did nothing. The president of the United States was that piece of shit, Lyndon B. Johnson, who is so pathetic. He wouldn't even show up to the victims or the families of the victims or give out their Purple Hearts. He wouldn't show to meet with anybody because there was not enough room under that rug, and they just kept shoving it. And so instead, he stayed in the White House and brought a high school to get their diploma from the President of the United States, while our fucking men in our intelligence are being slaughtered. That would not... If you think that would have happened under Kennedy, you're fucking crazy. So, this is the kind of horse shit that I just can't agree with. So, when I say that I do not stand with Israel, it does not make me anti-Semitic. I know way too much about the Holocaust to ever deny something so fucking horrid and ever wish that on anybody. But let's keep the frame of mind here the same, and remember, they didn't go off to Israel, snatch a bunch of people, and then bring them over to Germany to be slaughtered and enslaved. Okay? I think we did that to an entirely different group of people. But again, my point is that this is a situation that is to this day still swept under the rug. We don't fucking celebrate it. We don't fucking shine on it. We don't fucking do history on it. It's not in your history books. You probably didn't read about it. And that's what disgusts me, is that this is the future that we live in, where facts are swept under the rug and alliances that we are supposed to believe in are actually our traitors. And if you've ever seen The Godfather and you see that them holding those strings, you know, that was a way of saying it, you know, that's the man behind the curtain pulling those strings. Now, to think that Netanyahu and Israel at all give a flying fuck about America's best interests in mind, if you even think that, you need to do some more research, because it's not hard to look up U.S.S. Liberty. Now, the clip I just showed you is from Al Jazeera, and I usually love their reporting, so I highly recommend you just Google it. Can literally just Google U.S.S. Liberty, and I think it just shows right up as documentary or something. But, you know, this is one of the most fucking darkest. This is, sorry, that is a double superlative. But this is the darkest period of this is one of the darkest periods in the annals of our history. And yet it is completely ignored to this day. But this day is very strange. We also have people that for some reason don't believe in dinosaurs. I literally just heard a woman who was wearing, I think, a nursing outfit. She was a gorgeous woman, completely idiotic, talking about if dinosaurs were here, then why aren't there bones everywhere? You do. Wow, there's so much fucking stupid to that. I don't even know where to begin. Like the fact that the Ice Age, volcanic eruptions, the air. There's so much to unload there that the girl could have just fucking asked Google and just shut her mouth, and she wouldn't have come off so damn stupid. But that's exactly the world we live in, where we have scientists we cannot even trust. And we talked about guys like James Tour. Now, James Tour had to literally be destroyed by Professor Dave, who, God bless that guy. You know, if I believed in God, I would ask to bless him. But he's an absolute genius. And I want to show you at the debate, he shows his own, he shows the entire class and James Tour himself that yeah, people really use his videos for academia. Okay, they don't just watch it for fun, they use it to pass classes because he knows what he's talking about. So to call this man an anti-scientist, to say that he's not a scientist, is hilarious. So check this out.
Acknowledged by applause that they used to pass his class? I said he's clueless. I said he doesn't know chemistry. Although, again, who's used my content to pass his class? Anybody here? That's what I thought, James. He doesn't know chemistry, yet I'm helping your students. Isn't that interesting? Thank you. That's mostly what I do on my channel, not just exposing loser frauds like James.
Well, James is a loser-ass fraud. Now, let's watch him actually finally say something that makes sense, and actually, I actually believe him, because he finally admits that he is not taken seriously anymore.
I'm not sure that it was worth it. I've been ostracized by not just the Origin of Life community. I've been ostracized by much broader than that. I go into meetings sometimes and people will kind of look and they'll get hushed.
Yeah, we do that around stupid
gatherings
people.
and like, you know, tourists here.
This is the closest we will ever get to hearing James say something honest and truthful on this topic.
And it's absolutely true. So what happened there is you have James Tour, who calls everyone clueless because he wants to put his religion before the results. And you can't do that. So it's just fucking amazing how stupid this world is getting, to where people don't believe in dinosaurs. They don't believe in the president. And when you see a man like Trump walking around doing one thing and then the next day telling you he did something completely different when you watched him do it. I mean, literally. Oh, fuck it. Here. So if I hold this up and say, you know, here's Blade from Puppet Master, and then tomorrow I run around saying that I was holding up a Chucky doll, and you motherfuckers believe me, I'd worry about you. I'd be like, okay, y'all fucking morons. You straight up retarded. And a perfect example of this is MTG. All right? We all thought MTV was going to rot brains. No. MTG is a rotted brain that continues to rot other brains. And her idiocy is just boundless. So let's listen to her. She's such a goddamn moron. And I want you to also listen to the pride that she takes in saying, I denied Ukraine funding. Like, she is so proud of what she did to not help an ally. It just shows you. And then she has the balls to say this is not serious. You are not serious. None of you are serious people. Nobody actually respects a MAGA. No one. Because you're a cult. You're a fucking cult of idiocy. So let's watch the Queen KK Karen herself just completely show you a Blade doll and then talk about Chucky.
Take place this week with regard to the Speaker of the House?
Yes, absolutely. We're in a serious weakened position. Republicans that control the majority in the House of Representatives. I want to remind everyone that we barely control the majority of the House, and that's only 1/3 of the federal government. What happened last week, I completely disagree with. It was 8 Republicans joining with all the Democrats in the House and basically throwing the gavel on the floor and saying it's now up for grabs and anyone that wants it. This is not a serious thing to do when you control the House of Representatives.
That was Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You know what? And now that I think about it, you know who Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like? I finally figured this out. Marjorie Taylor Greene looks, I always wondered, she looks familiar, like I've seen her before. Totally. She's the Ram in the movie The Wrestler. She's Mickey Rourke. Oh, okay. So yeah, that was another little speech by little female Hulk Hogan over there. Let's actually show some more of that, because some of this, it goes on. And again, listen to the pride she has in not helping people. Like, that is hysterical. And again, this is a woman that always, sorry, Fiona. This is a woman that is the most unacceptable person that we have in politics.
Take a look.
And no matter how you feel about Kevin McCarthy, I can tell you I was getting things accomplished because through Kevin McCarthy, I was able to get the Ukraine money taken out of the defense bill. And I fought very hard for that. And I'm proud that.
I'm so proud that I didn't help an ally that was getting blown up like this country right next to me. I'm really proud of that and all the suffering that goes on in this world, because I'm the Ram. Like, you are, I swear to God, that's hilarious. That I had never thought of it, never put 2 and 2 together before, but that is totally Mickey Rourke from The Wrestler. Great job there, KK Karen. Great job. Always nice to see you. Get the fuck off my screen. So this is the world that we live in right now. A world full of hoaxes and jokeses, where motherfuckers can't be taken seriously, and the serious motherfuckers are not even fucking existent. So we can't take our government seriously. We can't take any of these committees seriously. The other day I heard a question being asked to the White House saying, why would auto workers want to vote for you when you're putting them out of business because of fossil fuels? Do you know how fucking long it's going to be till we get rid of fossil fuels? We're probably going to be stuck with these for another 50 goddamn years. So I love the press spokesperson just literally just kind of went, okay, I'm gone, y'all. Later. Like she just deuced out. I do the same thing. I'm like, y'all some retards. I'm out of here, bro. Meanwhile, the on the opposite side of the aisle, where you can get a hand job from Bobo, I don't know. I heard her hand jobs are pretty decent. She gives you a good old fashioned, you know. And as we learned in South Park, there's nothing like a good old fashioned sometimes. You know? Look at Randy Marsh. He was a very happy man. All right. So you be happy on your own and don't try to look to anything in this modern political area for anything positive or anything happy whatsoever. All right. Love you guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you take something from this. Please comment. I'm loving all your comments. Thank you so much. Yeah, love you guys. Stay safe, stay free. See you on the other side. Most of all, stay cheesy, my friend.
These are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at, see that chap over there? Take your hand off my penis!
The Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary, Deputy Secretary.
This guy is fucking stupid!
Stay cheesy.